All set.
Pretty good.
There's a folder that says not the panel. I wonder. So kicking off with the trailer.
Oh, it's not playing out of this thing.
Just put the mic right next to the speakers.
Oh, they're doing how to take care.
We're still waiting on Mike anyways, so.
They're adjusting the set and the mics here. We're set to go. Just need a little technical fixes.
Anyone? This room's pretty intense. It's straight up like lecture mode. It's like this kind of yeah, it is. I mean, yeah. There's the mic next to that. I think this photo's nice.
You might want to go back a little bit. So let's see. There you go. Woo! Let's get this started.
Thank you all for joining our AX panel here. This is like, I think it's the biggest panel yet.
This is kind of insane. Oh my god.
I guess, well, are we still waiting? Yeah, okay, sure. That makes sense. My name is Alex Ahad. I'm the creative director for Skull Girls. So, like, I guess.
Hi, I'm Mariel. I'm the lead animator.
I'm John. I'm the senior animator.
Hi, I'm Richard. I'm a lead cleanup artist.
I'm
I'm Brian, associate art producer.
And look who came in. Look who came in.
If you take the train, don't forget to tap. So, second. Let's go to the second.
Oh yeah, I'm Vince. I'm the audio guy.
Big crew right here.
Okay, well, we want to thank you all for coming. We have a few things to show you today. You might have heard that we recently crowdfunded a bunch of DLC characters.
Yes.
Which was absolutely insane. We raised over $800,000, which is, I don't even know. It's a lot of money.
More money than you can fill a dump truck with, because we tried.
And we're in the process of wrapping up Squiggly, who was the first DLC character. And now we're starting the second one. Big Band.
I guess if you guys haven't heard, like, we have a booth at the hall. We have a booth at the hall, like 10:30. If you go there, you can try out Squiggly. Like, she's like, playable in a playable state. So if you wanted to give her a shot, feel free to stop by there.
Or if you go home and play on Steam.
Oh yeah, we also, yeah, the beta was just released yesterday. So if you guys contributed, you can go home and play.
Nice.
There are problems with it, because there are problems with everything. If you have problems with it, or if you find a bug, please send it to bugreports@labzerogames.com, because that's what the beta is for. I'm supposed to do that.
All right.
I'll fill this up a little bit. So, because Squiggly is mostly done, we started on this side.
We're starting on Big Band now, and I can guide you guys through a little bit of some of the pre-production stuff. Big Band.
I think it's.
It's okay. Anyway, so this is, like a lot of the pre-production stuff for Big Band is in the process, and we're also starting like the basic animations, like John and Mary are working on like his idol and like jump in, turn around. I think you were even working on a little bit at
I was actually. If you guys stop by the booth, you can see me working.
Right. Yes. And Big Band's an interesting character because he's obviously like vastly different than the others. Other than the obvious one that he's the first male character, it's also the fact that he's basically a robot, which is like vastly different than drawing like an organic character. So we've had like a lot of like interesting challenges with like kind of figure out the fine tuning. As you can see, his model sheet right now is like still a work in progress. The one on the right here is like more closer to the updated, accurate version, and you can kind of see we're trying to think like how the character looks like, not just with the coat, but beneath the coat and like the level of detail stuff, and things like how the pieces work together. Because like as you try to work on this guy, it's like kind of like when starting a car, and discovering that an engine is a lot more complicated than just the outside of the car, right? But if you want to.
Yeah.
We actually have we've had a guy with us for a while. Like, I don't know if you've seen, there's like some really cool fan 3D models of like Billy and Parasol. That guy actually does models for us. Yeah, he also did our Team Fortress 2 hats. We tried something very well with the style, and including the Big Band stuff, which is kind of been translated to helping us with 3D guys for the more mechanical parts. Yeah, it's like curved mechanical things are actually deceptively different. Yeah. You think, it depends on what you present it on. They might think like the fact that it's not like straight lines is easier, but it's actually, good. There's some of the basic poses in here. You can see that John and I were working on this. Is from the canvas. You can see the idle crash, jump, dash, and obviously things are subject to change. But this is like the basic kind of look at He's always got the cool thing, like, no arms, but like two mechanical legs. He's got like a giant hand on legs. But also the shape of the we we've been brainstorming new concepts, so obviously it's only a small sample of what we have, but you know, there's some fun stuff in here, you know, like really weird stuff that just kind of plays with the band theme, you know. Yeah, so you know, there's some fun stuff in there that would be cool to incorporate as much as possible. And I think, yes, it's an interesting challenge. Well, there are certain things about Big Band that can be like, you know, because of the fact he's got a code on it. But there's other like basic things that can be tricky, like, you know, just basic movement. But that's what the 3D model kind of looks like. So, you know, it's kind of an interesting process for us to be more transparent with the development of the game, and you know, showing stuff like this, which we probably wouldn't have shown at all, you know, like in our previous model. So yeah.
I actually want to say, it doesn't work, I keep forgetting. So I actually want to say it's been really fun, because one of the things I've always wanted to do with game development was like involve the fans as much as possible. So I'm really enjoying the fact that now that we're funded by the anonymous masses from the internet, we can put anything out there that we want, right? There's no publisher going, no, you can't show that. It's just us going, maybe we shouldn't. Yeah, our own conscience, which we don't have. So yeah, we get to like, hey, we're thinking of using this move, or like, what do you guys think of doing stuff with, you know, how should parts of the game work? Like, that's really fun, and I'm enjoying this way more than I was working at large publishers and not being able to say anything until, you know, the marketing guy says you can reveal all your secrets. So, thanks to everyone here.
in the game, like immediately. So we have the tiniest bit of Big Band footage to show you.
It's still pretty large because he's gigantic.
Oh, he is huge.
Yeah.
He's too big, I think.
Make a socket that Yeah. This has no sound, right?
Yeah, it has to keep
okay. Also, you don't
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so this is him in-game. I should mention that although he looks gigantic, he's actually not any taller than Double. Double's pretty tall, but I mean, she's really small when she's crouching. Yeah, so this is his idol. I don't remember because I recorded these clips when I was really tired, but I'm assuming more stuff goes on in some of them. Oh yeah, this was just to show that like, even when you zoom out, he's still huge. Oh yeah, and this is a test of parry, because I want to see if we can do parry properly for him, so since we had the animation.
Oh man.
I wanted to ask, did Valentine always like turn into shadows?
Yep.
I never noticed that
Yeah,
before.
she hasn't done it. It lets you see the EKG monitor more. Also, it makes it more of a ninja.
Well, Earl didn't notice it either until today. We were both like.
Oh, he only plays the character too. Well, glad to know people appreciate all that work we put in. But yeah, I'm actually, if you go back just a tiny little bit since you mentioned it, one of the things I really like is, since it's a palette effect, it doesn't affect her eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Because we did the cartoon character, like your eyes stay open thing. So.
Oh wow, yeah,
Yeah,
I noticed.
yay, tech. Right. So yeah, that's every single animation that he's got so far.
Yeah.
That was one of the clips. It was supposed to be. I didn't? Oh.
Well, I could actually show you what I've been animating at the booth.
Well, I have my laptop. So if you guys were going to talk, I
Let's see what she did.
Yeah, I've been talking on.
Yeah, well,
Alright, my apologies. It was supposed to be a clip of Crouch Idol.
It's coming up.
well, here, let's see.
Oh, dude.
There it is.
I don't think I have the crowd. Well, maybe I do.
We're usually disorganized.
Yeah. This is how we
Actually,
get
when we're
stuff
making
done.
the game, it's much easier. Talking to people is always really terrifying. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, my Crouch Idol is terribly animated. It's half model and like.
Yeah, so I started on this jump. This was happening at the booth.
It's amazingly balletic.
Well, I was thinking it'd be like kind of hilarious if, like, for a super jump or like a double jump or whatever you might have, like you did like this kind of thing. Yeah. I like it.
She does that. She like turns in the air.
Right. Yeah, but he can like totally like. One thing about Big Man is because he's mechanical, like I was mentioning earlier, like he can totally do things that's not like conventional human body can do. Like his legs would be able to rotate like 360 degrees, so he could do like weird like walk the other way kind of things, or you know. Just, so I was suggesting that for his Matt 1.
Actually, because I just did this like yesterday and today, you guys are saying this at the same time that Alex is saying it for the first time. So he could change his mind and like throw this all out.
Just do it over, yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah, let's And I tell you, I'm grossing this was great. I mean, no, I trust them a lot. I mean, like I leave maybe to their like distress sometimes, but I leave a lot of it up to them because I know that they kind of get like what the style is and like where I'm coming from. And though Big Man is pretty different than the other characters, so there's still a little bit of a ramp up. You know, they totally like understand like the style of the games, like leave a lot of the details up to them.
Yeah. I can interrupt, actually. I'm good at this. One of the really nice things about this team is that pretty much everybody on it works well with minimal direction. He needs constant direction. So like, one of the reasons that we've been able to continue to work, even though, you know, our publisher went broke and all that other stuff, is because you say, hey, we need this stuff from someone, and then they go off and they figure out what they need to do, and they do it. And we don't have to have a huge amount of central management, which is really essential if you want to have a team of independent people, especially if you don't have an office. So, you know, for those of you out there that are thinking to do independent projects, make sure that either you have a manager or you have people that you can trust to say, do this thing right, and then they'll do it right. So, thanks everybody.
It's kind of hard because it also requires a lot of self-discipline.
Yeah.
We're not always like on top of that all the
Yeah,
way.
but I mean, you get to work at home in your underwear.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me.
I'm actually pretty behind on stuff.
Okay, fine. Everybody on this side of the table is directed. And it gets bit. Yes.
It's also kind of been interesting because, you know, we were laid off from Research Labs last June, and since, like, we've only been able to start working on the game again after the crowdfunding. But it's kind of funny because working at home separately and just, that's fine.
Okay.
Do you guys want it?
Yeah. It's not the same if he's not continually joining.
Well, yeah.
Underline that we landed on our feet. The brain works.
No, I was going to say that it's kind of interesting that we're all working at home separately, but still kind of getting this together because that's how we started.
Yeah.
Before the company. Like, it was all just like us talking online and trying to make this thing work.
You know, the whole like, working on a cloud or whatever, or like networking, and the internet obviously in general, just like allows like remote working. Even though we're like, technically in the same city, we have to often work from different spots. I think we're actually trying to get an office pretty soon though, so it might help like with the productivity and like being in the same area.
Yeah. I think we're in the same city doesn't mean we're in the same time though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in Hawaiian time at this point.
Right. Yeah, I guess I remember that. My hours in kind of funny. Conventions always kind of forcing them back into the right time. But then I always like work right away afterwards.
I was just late. Well, sorry, I didn't mean to derail you.
Oh, actually, I wanted to say that I think our panel is actually a little bit short. So we wanted to, maybe we can open it up to a bit of Q&A.
Yeah. Please ask questions to those guys because they didn't get to talk yet.
I don't have
Great stuff.
I got nothing. Squiggly should be done maybe in 2 weeks.
Is that an actual 2 weeks or is that?
I think that's an actual 2 weeks. So How many of you contributed to the Kickstarter? All right, pretty good.
A lot.
Anyone?
Less than half of the people in this room.
Pretty good. Yeah. Anyone eligible for some of the larger tiers? Okay, couple
Only
people.
two,
Yeah,
right
pretty
in
good.
front of me.
Just wanted to see. Yeah. If you still haven't sent in your material, please send them in. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he's the one that gets yelled at.
Yeah. Did anyone here order the postcard set? Like, you could get like a miniature postcard for the artist? Okay, yeah. Because I'm just saying that might be a little while before this comes out, so just be wary. You know, everyone's busy working. I'm not gonna. I mean, you can see the streams and everyone's doing their stuff. So we're doing that, and then we try to on the off time just do the postcards also. So
Oh
just
yeah,
keep
I guess I should ask to save them some time. Yeah, I don't think that would work. It's on and everything, and the battery's dead. Maybe it works.
Oh, it works.
Just doesn't want to listen to me. Just like.
One last thing about the thing Squiggly being done in 2 weeks. Addendum. That's for cleanup specifically. I'm not sure. A lot of whatever stuff on the side will need tweaking or.
Oh no, we're all ahead of you.
Okay. If it's just me, then it's fine. I don't mind being last.
Your laptop blew up, didn't it?
My desktop.
Oh, it is. Do you guys recognize these wonderful girls?
Oh,
Hey!
I didn't see him come in.
These people are all way more famous than we are. I see nothing. Okay.
So we can start.
Yeah,
We can start a bit of QA. What's going to happen is that we can call on people, and the AX staff will run over to you with the microphone. So let's start.
All right.
There, the armband.
Oh.
Oh my God! It's hard to see from here.
It's right in front of me.
That's so cool.
So,
Oh, there it is.
back in Canopy Kingdom, Pantherboss is a little upset. I just want to know, is there any possibility of more character selection? Oh, Umbrella's also upset.
She's gonna have to be.
But she's easily satiated with ice cream.
Character selection in the future.
Are we gonna have more characters?
I would love to. I think
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I would love to. I think the idea is that we would, and Umbrella would definitely be one of the first ones. Yes. Woo! I like seeing who's like in the top 8 when it came to the voting and stuff, because that like influences like it gives me an impression of like who's also popular among other than just the winner. You know, and like obviously Transpass is one of them, for example.
Yeah. What the hell, Roxy fans?
It was kind of interesting because, like in the first round, for example, before the last Final Four, the top 8 was like an interesting mix of like 4 guys and 4 girls, and they had a pretty good variety. You know, like Cancer House was one of them, Sam was one of them. I think
Wait,
no, I sang 4 guys and 4 girls. I don't remember who they were exactly, but again, he was one of the top 1. Anyway, like, yeah. I mean, I can't know Cancer House was one of them. And then Umbrella's going to be in there anyway. She's out.
That's a little bit more of a serious answer. It depends on whether we can continue to pay ourselves. So some of that depends on the result of Autumn's lawsuit, which is supposed to be coming back at some point soon. We get asked a lot if we are going to do another crowdfunding drive, and we're kind of leery of it because we don't want to like, hey, you guys gave a huge amount of money before, you want to do it again? I don't know. So I am, although I really enjoy this, okay, everybody says yes, fine. Although I really enjoy this, I sort of hope that we can come up with some sort of stable model by the time that the funding from this runs out in a year. We are really happy that we get to work on it for as long as we do now. But yeah, we would very much like to continue. We will have to figure out what the best way to do that is, but we're gonna spend as much time on it as we can. So, I'm sorry, that was the realistic answer.
That one first, and then like for like thinking of who it is afterwards to come after. But obviously, you know, we gotta get money to actually continue.
Yeah. So our role can be in there.
Right.
Just checking. That'll be it.
Is that Ash?
Yep.
Okay.
Are any of the characters from the character vote going to be scrapped?
By scrapped, you mean like forever?
Never made.
Yeah, this is never made ever. Like,
I mean, some are later in the list, but I would like to make all of them if possible. Like, but that's sort of a dream that it's like hard to, like there's probably gonna be people like later in the list, like the people that we want to make first, and then.
Well, I mean, there would have to be an order. Right?
Yeah, there has to be an order because we can't like, you know, duplicate ourselves.
Oh, and Juju is dead. So she's out.
If that's what you're asking indirectly, then I guess there's that, yeah.
no, I was more concerned about Stanley.
Oh, no, he's definitely would be, he's pretty obviously popular, so I think he's pretty high up. Yeah, exactly. He's always moving forward, so, you know. Good. That one. Good. All right.
I see two over here. One closer to the wall, and then the guy after.
You,
The
yeah.
guy with last name. Okay.
What made you guys decide to do a fighting game rather than any other style of gameplay out there?
Just be my question. Or your question?
So, for me, I've always wanted to make a fighting game because they're the type of game that I find most fun and that I understand the best. For Alex, I actually asked him this question when I first met because there was a ton of lore you already had. And I was like, why aren't you making an RPG?
Yeah, I mean, like one of the things was with fighting games, they're so character animated. Like I just like even though I was more casual when it came to fighting games, like one of the things that attracted me to them was just how cool the characters were and how much you can see them and how much they move around, and it's just cool seeing two characters duke it out. And a lot of Skullgirls was inspired by when I was in college, seeing like Dojin games from Japan, like EFC and Melty Blood, and I think around that time was when I started seeing Guilty Gear also. I'm trying to remember what other fighting games I started picking up around that time. But yeah, you know, just that character-oriented aspect of fighting games, and the fact that you can focus on the art of them so much was a huge factor in why I was thinking of a fighting game. Yeah.
Because the character basically is the game.
Right, and then also, of course, the idea for Skullgirls was like simpler at that time, and then like because I had the idea for so long, the lore and stuff started building up more. So there was kind of like a side effect of it just being around for so long.
There was another question over there. Yeah.
My question's directed toward Mike Z, because I know you're the lead programmer.
Okay.
I'm curious to know how you programmed the hitbox. If that's an explanation that can be done in a
Yeah, it's really short. So, actually, the Hitbox Editor is a paint program that I had written in college with a friend, and that I was like, hey, we need something that edits hitboxes, and added that functionality in like an hour and a half. And it really sucks. It doesn't zoom. It crashes if you double click on certain things. Like, it's really bad, but like it suffices to put the hitboxes in. So basically you open up an image and you have the attach point for the character, and then you have various box types which are just numbered, but the program, you know, has names associated with them. And you can draw them, and you can go into selection mode and change around and delete them, and it's really pretty simple, but it's exactly like what you think. We have wonderful hitbox mavens, neither of them is up here, but one of them is over there. She's my fiance. I'm pretty lucky. Because she does the hitboxes. But so the tool works well enough, but we definitely need to write a new one. So I mean, thank you. Yes, we do.
There should be some seats down over there.
So
please
I guess that's something that I can point out, which is if you're just starting out, something that's good enough to do what you need to do is fine, but do take the time to write new tools, or else you just never will, and everybody will get used to the workflow with the old ones, and it'll be all terrible forever. So tools programmers are important. We don't have one.
Parasol?
Please tell me more about Beowulf, Alex.
Why does he wear the
chair.
sweater?
He has a chair.
He has a chair. He's kind of sassy. I mean, he's a pro wrestler type guy. He's got the chair. He's the chairman. But you know, I would think that like it would be pretty interesting to reflect like the legend of Beowulf in his story in one form or another. I'm not exactly sure what to parallel to what, but I'd have to talk it over with my fellow story partner and get the finer details about like more about his lore. But yeah, he's kind of like you'd obviously have like a totally like showboat kind of attitude, and yeah, I guess.
Does he shower every day? Or is it like every other?
He uses his sweat to shower. But no, he uses the blood of his enemies to shower. Yeah, like for example, like in the pinup of him, like you can see that he's holding a giant arm. That would be like the arm of Grendel. It's just a reference to like the actual lore. And Grendel in the case of Skullgirls was like a Gigan. So in the past he had a wrestling match with a Gigan and tore his arm off. It's for, they'll say, oh, he's just faking it, it's pro wrestling, right? Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, when he's not looking, the ref's not looking and stuff, right? But, yeah, I mean, we're still trying to figure out the details. Because they got blinded by the, yeah. Or he got bribed, he just happened to not.
It just happened to come off.
Yeah. Yes, yeah.
Oh no, he was like that when I got here.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, can you tell me why he wears the sweater?
Because, wait,
Sweater? Or the guy?
oh, because it's just,
Cosplayers wear sweaters.
it's just because, it's a cool, like, thing that kind of fits that era more than just the belt, because that would just be, that's kind of more meaningful.
Are we gonna have that in the are you gonna have
I don't want to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, yeah.
how, I mean, yeah, but like, how would we go?
Yo, you
Yeah,
did
yeah, we'll figure it out later.
Everything is easier with glasses.
I see a question over here. Yeah, front.
Minus 10 points for not reading the back. What programming language and how long did it take to program the game? So if you want to write a game for a game console, you are required to use C++. There isn't any other choice. Or you can use a game engine that was written in C++ like Unity or Unreal or whatever. But if you want to write your own, you have to use C++. You can use C# for XNA, but that's Microsoft's language, so that'll never be anywhere else. And actually, Android supports compiling native C++ applications since 2009, so you don't even have to use Java on Android if you don't want to. Yeah. Yeah, C++ is the thing that'll be useful for everyone everywhere all the time because it's too entrenched to die. As far as learning goes, you can learn any language because they'll all be equivalent at some point. But yeah, if you want to write a game engine for any console, you have to use C++. It also makes it easier to port to PC because a lot of the APIs on Xbox are similar. How long did it take? So I worked on it part-time from 1999 till 2009. Some of that was, very part-time, like months where I didn't touch anything. But then we got funded in 2009, and the core of the engine has actually stayed pretty much the same. It can still read Chun-Li and Xianko and Makoto that I had in the original engine back in like 2005. Yeah, they're amazing. Chun-Li turns into Zangief and throws spirals. It's so sick. This is one of the reasons I was the happiest to meet Alex, because he had copyright-free fighting game art. Like,
You already had a team, and I didn't want to intrude or anything. I was just like, can I just use your art?
yeah. He was like, fine, whatever, just leave me alone. So I used it and I made Philia, and then I sent him a copy of the engine with Philia as a thank you, and he was like, hey, this is kind of better than what we've got. Maybe we should work with you. And then lots of people were mad at me. Now here we are.
Question over here. Are you Waldo?
Just go.
Oh,
Sorry.
another? Wait.
Sorry. You're in the front? Yeah.
Sorry.
I guess it's for the people in the back. Yeah.
Hello, people in the back.
I was actually pretty curious, just obviously with the talk about extra characters being added on to Skullgirls, does it just mean that you're just going to be constantly adding on more characters into Skullgirls as time goes on, or will there be like a Skullgirls 2 where you just do like a big expansion, story, the whole works?
Right. So for these 5 characters, it's going to be added on as they're made, right? Like every approximately 3 months, depending on how things go. But 2 weeks, every 2 weeks. But basically, yeah, for these characters, they're going to be added on to this title, and then I believe, especially because we would probably be doing the next system. I think if we were to ever go on to anything after this, it would be probably more like a title update at least once.
We'll have to maintain the PS3 and 360 versions up through these 5 characters. We said we would until they take down the servers and you can't download games on the old systems anymore. At some point, we'll have to migrate to the next-gen consoles. So the original idea was to continue to update Skullgirls until by the time you got to a $60 game, you're playing a $60 game and it's basically its own sequel. In fighting game terms, it's pretty much its own sequel already because the systems have been changed way more than anything got changed from like Super to AE, for example. But, yeah. But if we were to move on to a sequel, some of it would be because moving on to a sequel allows us to distance ourselves from companies that are contractually required to be involved in the original. So we might make it a sequel earlier than we normally would or at a different time than we normally would just to not have to deal with them anymore. That's a nice way.
It also gives us an opportunity to restart things if we need to.
Yeah, we can rebrand it, right?
Yeah.
Skullgirls.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Okay, in the stripes?
Also, you should do this.
Is it Waldo? Okay.
Found you.
Found you.
That was easy.
I was kind of wondering, have you ever had any problems with the game, as in sometimes it would your progress would crash and lose everything and start opening again?
Oh, well, as far as crashing goes, I'm continually surprised that it runs. Every game developer has this experience, and you put it out, and everybody's like, yeah, man, I played this for 10 hours, and you're like, yes! I mean, you don't actually lose everything on something like this because you use source control, right, or version control, like we use SVN, which is you put everything on the server, and it keeps old versions of things, and so even if somebody deletes the entire directory for a character or something, the old version is still there. Unless you delete the entirety of SVN, which is hard. No, you didn't delete it. But yes, one of the really important bits is if you're going to work on anything, have some sort of version control system, because that way, even if somebody screws something up really badly, you can go back to a version that wasn't screwed up. So there were 2 answers to that. One was the actual game itself. Yeah, I'm still surprised that it runs for everybody. We just put out the PC beta, and I'm ridiculously surprised that we didn't get more, hey, you know what, it just won't work. Like, it crashed if your operating system was in Portuguese, which was fun. But besides that, it at least ran for everybody, which is like another one of those moments where I'm just like, I don't even care past this. You know, we did good.
I was going to mention, not only in the game itself, but having redundancy in any part of the art step is pretty useful. Like recently I had my computer crash. My hard drive still works perfectly fine, but if that crashed as well, I would have lost everything in there. But all of our contractors upload their art, their finished art, onto a web server that we just download after they finish. And so even if I lost everything, I could still get their completed assignments from that. So the more redundancy you have for that kind of stuff, I think the better.
Yeah. As a practical tip for anyone looking to start a game company, it's really difficult to get artists to use version control. That sounds sarcastic and hilarious, and I mean it is hilarious, but like it's true everywhere. Like it was true at Pandemic, it was true at EA. It's difficult to get artists to want to use version control or like keep backups of things. Just saying. Yeah, because if you just set up your hard drive crashed, it would all be gone.
I mean, I want to get it backed up, but I need to purchase it.
Well, all right. Wasn't there somebody in the front? Yeah, you, because I was looking at you for the last 3 questions.
This is actually a question for Vince. It's 2 parts. Is there anything special that you've learned in the sound design for Skullgirls, like combining old fighting games, and with Big Band upcoming and a lot of sound design associated with Big Band, is there anything that you have planned or ideas?
Short, please.
Okay, on the Big Band thing, I think something like 14 or 15 people have already said Careless Whisper, and I'm sick of you guys having to say that.
Big Sax guy, too.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool things that can happen with that. I mean, he's a robot, so there's going to be all sorts of cool sounds for him moving around. His attacks have a lot of cool things with horn blasts and valves and all sorts of sort of cool, crunchy, mechanical type sounds with him. You know, very different from all the other guys moving around. You know, everyone else when they move around, they have those subtle footsteps, but then you have double. It's like squish, squish, squish. And then this is going to be kind of similar with Big Band, always constantly making noise because he's a robot and he's got this very primitive iron lung thing. So that's really cool to just sort of show how raw that technology is. Learning stuff on Skullgirls, I learned a whole lot. I think the short version is that I sort of changed how I did sound design in like that first year. It took a while. There were a lot of bad habits that I had, which I thought were actually good habits to have when it comes to sound design. But the thing is, American sound design and Japanese sound design are very different on a very fundamental level. I'm kind of a sucker for history and theory and stuff, so I basically have my own ideas about how hardware design actually was a huge influence on Japanese sound design back in the 90s and all the way up into the early 2000s, that it wasn't back in that same era in America and Europe. So people basically listen to sounds differently, and you've got this evolution of sound from that FM synth era to the sampled sound era that happened in Japan that was very different from the evolution in America and Europe. And I had to sort of try to figure out how to replicate that evolution for myself in my own studies before I sort of figured out a basic way of dealing with the sound for Skullgirls. On an even more basic level, I mean, it's basically this sort of new EQ curve in my head based on how fighting game players sort of listen to the sounds in fighting games, which is kind of different from how communicative certain sounds are in other game genres that we care about here in America with action and beat-em-up adventure type games and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, there was a whole lot that I learned while working on Skullgirls.
Yeah, and in case that sounded like gobbledygook, because I still don't get it. He's right about the whole hardware influencing how the sounds sounded, because one of the things that we did was we had like, what, 10 or 12 revisions of the hit sounds. And
10 or 12?
Well, okay.
Okay, there might have been, on my last count, I think there were 17 major revisions, and if you count each individual revision, it's something like 86. Okay, yeah. That's just like the basic smack sounds.
Wow.
Yeah. See, and this is important because in fighting games, that's the thing that you hear constantly. So a lot of it came down to, hey, here's Street Fighter Alpha 2. Why does it sound like this yet? And he'd be like, because we're not going to make that game, and do something else. And eventually, it came down to, you explained it to me in dumb people's terms. Something like the hardware that Alpha 2 was on, and that a lot of the other old Capcom games was on, was doing something to the sound. It was filtering it, right?
Yeah, it had a very interesting design to the low pass filter. You know, whenever you make an digital to analog converter for your sound, and especially in arcade hardware, because all the sound had to be in there, including the amplifier into the arcade cabinet, because arcade cabinet is just a speaker. But the actual design implementation of the DAC was really weird and usually pretty cheap compared to what you would have in a traditional audio audio signal. So, and that sort of influenced a lot of what happened actually really late in the process, like, just a few months before we released last year.
Yeah, and like one day he came back and he was like, "How are these?" And I was like, "Those sound exactly right, but they're the same sounds as before." And he goes, "Yeah, I did the thing that the cabinet was doing too." So, we salute you, or at least I do.
Thanks.
On the right?
Isn't it possible that Double's going to be updated with the new DLC characters? Like that you'll have Eliza moves or anything? And if you did Skullgirls 2, would all the current roster make it over there, or will you retire?
Can I answer that a little bit quick? Well, I know the answer to the first one too. Yeah, Double would not get like the DLC characters as additional moves, right? Because that would actually change how she plays. So that would end up practically being like a different character. But it would be cool possibly, for example, to maybe do like a different remix of Double that might have like future moves or something, like maybe a non-centric version, like, like nothing or something. Or, like it might have another name, like, but basically shapeshift into other characters or like something like that. But it wouldn't be an update to Double's current character that drastically, because otherwise it would be actually different.
Actually, I should update that answer.
Oh, yeah,
so,
different answer.
part of it is, I didn't initially want to do that because then it seems weird if Philly didn't change much, but all of a sudden Double's losing her crouching medium kick because we have to put in a DLC character. But there are some moves that she has that are way less useful than other ones. So I might consider replacing those with moves from other characters, or for example, like Squiggly has an overhead, so we might give her an overhead. Some of it will require experimentation, but I'm much more open to it than I used to be.
Talk really fast. What was the second question? I'm sorry, Oh, no, they would all come over, yes. Probably not. Not that I don't think I would know it at quite a time. We actually changed Miss Fortune slightly recently for gameplay reasons, but story-wise, no, it would be the same.
Yeah.
And because, I would like to retell the story in a more detailed version with the same cast, so it would stay the same,
Lightning round, one question. In the red? Yeah.
So we can hear.
Eliza? Yeah, she'd be pretty badass, but a lot of it, she's like kind of calm, cool, like kind of like sultry or something. She's got like this, the fact that she's a parasite is like hidden because of the fact that she's like a diva. So, and in that world, parasite hosts are actually looked down upon because it's kind of like a curse. So the fact that she has one is hidden from the public. But she's also been around for a long time, and I guess I would just generally just say she's like pretty badass. That's the way to say it. Yeah.
Headband?
So what was the process into like recruiting voice actors and everything?
Voice actors. So Christina V was our ADR director and our casting director. So,
Still is.
Huh?
Still is.
Still, yes, is. Yes. Man. So yeah, she's our casting director, and so she sort of handles everything, tries to move things really quickly with a lot of the VAs that she works with very closely with other productions. So we sort of have a very quick process of we get a script out and then we sort of blast it out, and she actually handles a lot of the blasting out and gives us recommendations, and we try to move very quickly through those. If she has a strong recommendation, then we move quickly with those.
Basically, like if anyone like is interested in stuff, I basically forward their email contact to Christina, and then she'll loop you in, from what I understand, in the process.
Yeah, and since we did the Indiegogo, we've gotten a lot of requests from people that are like, I want to do voice acting for some. So, We will probably try to make it at least slightly more known when we're doing auditions in the future. I mean, we could turn all of you down anyway, but we at least want to, you know, put it out there so that we can get more people involved in it, personally.
White shirt? Yeah.
Why wasn't the Mike C. Cat available to be picked for a character?
So what?
Oh, the cat that's Arabella.
Oh, why is he not selectable as a...
We wanted to do a bunch of different stuff, like we wanted to try making the Moai a character.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of the stuff, the extra stuff like that, we simply didn't have time to do. Like, I'm booked 100% of the time, so whenever there's free time, that kind of thing will happen, but till then, it's gonna have to just say an Easter egg.
Also, what was with the sound design regarding the cat, like just walking away? What was the choice in that?
It's kind of cute. That's about it.
It's almost
Rob is cute.
Yeah.
I see someone like super raising their hand over there. Waiting, yeah.
Yeah, given the chance and presented the opportunity to make a crossover cutting game, would you do it, and which company would you do it with?
Good question.
Me, I'd pick Disney Afternoon, but I know that. Come on, imagine Megaduck, Goliath, and Philia on the same team. And we're out of time.
Is that the signal?
Okay, I think we're done.
And
Thank you all for coming.